Sup Tube, it's Rags with Anemic Edits, and today I wanted to take a look at the Cinemorph Mark II Pro-Line filter. Now, I'm sure that if you're watching this review, you're probably familiar with the original and kind of have an idea of what it does. For those of you that may not, it's kind of a filter that gives sort of an anamorphic effect, especially with the bokeh on an image. You can also get sort of anamorphic flares and that sort of thing. It comes with a multitude of options you can choose from at the time of purchasing. So I really actually wanted to not only demo it, but I wanted to kind of use it in maybe a little bit more of a unique way. In general, these had been kind of showcased with more like photo lenses and things like that to try to accentuate or give off that higher end look. I wanted to actually test these with Cine lenses in this case. And with that, I actually did not get a version that had a flare line in it or anything like that. I really wanted to pay more attention to the bokeh in this case. So I want to go ahead and jump in and take a look at this.
So for these tests, I chose to select the lens from my 7 Artisan Spectrum lineup, specifically the 50mm, which is the widest focal length that these filters work well with. So this first shot was taken at full frame, and as you can see, there is very heavy vignetting. But the focus plane transitions appear to be smooth and somewhat more pronounced closer to the edges of the frame. The bokeh appears to be relatively shallow and somewhat horizontally compressed. And when I crop into APS-C mode, which is closer to what a Super 35 sensor might render, the image looks a lot cleaner with significantly less vignetting and larger bokeh balls. In this next shot, I wanted to shoot into the sun at a much wider aperture, T2 in this case, just to get a better comparison for the filter. This is what definitely confirmed that the bokeh is in fact getting some compression and creating a very subtle painterly aesthetic, especially at the edges of the frame. It sort of reminds me of a Petzval lens in the way that the bokeh seems to be hinting at wanting to swirl within the out of focus area of the focus plane.
So I mean, overall, I think it's pretty nifty. I think that I would definitely use it in the future if I wanted to kind of accent my images in more of a subtle way. I think it's very good for that. I think that this is going to definitely be more for intention shots. I don't necessarily see it as a primary running gun option, but if you're really setting out to give your image sort of a unique perspective, especially in those moments where you have a shallow depth of field, I think that it's an awesome addition, and I think that this will be staying in my kit. So with that, I do appreciate you all taking a look at the review. Hopefully this video will have helped someone who's maybe trying to make a decision about whether or not to check it out, especially for this particular use case. And beyond that, if you have any questions or concerns about my end of things, feel free to drop it in the comment. I'll get back as soon as possible. Peace.